had to get the coffee. Sunday coffee break. 20th of January already. I guess I could. Let me take that down. There, how's that? A little cool out here this morning. It is 17 degrees. Been cold all week. So it's been kind of one of those weeks where I come out, work for a while, and then head back in, get warm, so I couldn't spend as much time out here as I wanted to, but, I'm kind of used to the cold. It's not as bad as, you start working in it, you get used to it. It's, you do what you got to do. Let's see, we got one watching. Either that or that's me. Let's see. This past week, I went and picked up an HP all-in-one 24 series desktop. I don't know if you've seen the video. That one was posted yesterday. I posted that yesterday. That was kind of a fun little project. I bought that for $10. And in fact, that's the camera and everything that's on the all-in-one that we're sitting in front of right now. I brought it up, checked the camera on it and the mic and all that, and it was working, and it looked a hell of a lot better than that one that I was using last Sunday. So I went ahead and just kind of set this computer up for live streaming because, it's an all-in-one, so you can just, all I have to do is take it down off the bench when I'm done and put it back over here, and then on Sunday I can bring it back up and and sit in front of it again. So it worked out pretty good. It's not a it wasn't a top of the line at that time. It's a 2018. When I got in the BIOS, it said born on 2018. So I opened it up because we were getting the tones on it. 3 long tones and 4 short tones. They have kind of an internal diagnostic on them to let you know, kind of like some of our pinball machines. Thought that was pretty cool. And I looked it up, and I was using one of my laptop power supplies, and it didn't like it at all. I had 3 of them, HP. They were HPs, but it didn't. I don't know. I don't know if there's something in them that tells the computer, that you're using an authentic, or not an authentic, but the right power supply or not. So I ordered one, hooked it up, and sure enough, it come right up. Was password locked, of course. Kind of surprised me that the hard drive was still in it. When they end up at the Goodwill store or thrift stores or something like that, usually the hard drive's out of them. I don't think they wanted to try and pry this one apart to pull the hard drive out of it. So needless to say, it still had the hard drive in it, and I totally wiped it because I don't want no part of anything that's inside on the hard drive. So I wiped it clean and reinstalled it. Had to back up on the internal, so we got it all backed up and put back in. So now I got a decent computer. It's a it's an AMD A9 9400 R5. And I'm thinking the R5 means Ryzen 5. But it only has 4 gigabyte of RAM, which I'm going to go ahead and I'll get a little better stick of RAM. It only can only put one stick in it, and I'll get an 8 gig with like a 230 or 266 or 3 megahertz boosted up. This only has a 4 gig 133 in it, and it shows it should be a lot quicker than what it is, but it does work pretty decent. And the ones I looked at were the Ryzen 5s had a SSD in it too, a solid state hard drive, plus the big hard drive in it, the SATA hard drive. This one only has a 1 terabyte, and there's no place to plug in a solid state. So, like I said, I think this one was just a little bit of a lower model. It's like I said, it's a good computer. Touch screen, everything works on it. So it's great for just kind of dedicating it for doing live feeds. And I'm using StreamYard, so I can record coffee break on it and post it then off and schedule it and have it post right off of StreamYard. From what I can gather with StreamYard, I'm still kind of working my way around it, trying to figure out stuff on it. We have the Retro Gaming with Hopper logo, or not logo, but labeled on there in the corner. This is the free version. You can get the pay version, and there's a lot more stuff you can do with the pay version. But right now I'm going to work with the free because I'm cheap, and I'm cheap because I don't have the money to. If I had the money, there'd be other stuff I'd spend it on. So Wednesday was working over the board set for Scorpion, and at the end of that video, it was up and running. After it sat again for about a half an hour and all that, the flippers jumped and it went black on me again, and it's been a nightmare trying to, well, I can't say it's a nightmare because I enjoy working on those boards. It wasn't bad at all. I ended up building another driver board for it, but that one I put up in had a dead short on it, and I went over everything and I could not find that dead short. The intermittent problem on the original, I finally did track it down there towards the end and found that there was a charred area on the board right around one of the solenoid resistors, and I was leaking power through the carbon. I tested the pin, and I had like half a volt on one pin leading right to that transistor. I changed it, and it was the same thing. And you look down on the board, the eyelet right in the middle, the eyelet was gone. All that was left in there was char, and there was charring all around it, but it was really hard to see. It wasn't real evident unless it just looked like a little bit of smoke damage, like one smoked. But this one, it really cooked, and it cooked the eyelet and everything right out of the center pin on the transistor, and the traces all around it were leaking through to it and to other components, and that's what was tripping and knocking out our blanking on that one. Could I fix it? Yes, I can fix it, but I have better candidates than that to fix. So I pulled another one out, the third one, and put it in, and we had some switches out and some lights out and locked on, which that's not bad at all. Worked through that, and now we have a really good driver board in the Scorpion and a good motherboard, good CPU, MPU in it, and it's up and running. Took me about a week and a half of screwing around off and on that on those driver boards before I finally kind of gave up the ghost on those two. The dead short, man, I hate those. When you have a dead short and you test everything and everything's good, it could be a solder splash that I'm just missing somewhere on the back of the board or whatever, but I wasn't spending any more time with that one. I was done with it, and I was done with the one that had the char mark on it. So I just grabbed another one that looked decent, just had a little bit of smoke damage around the main lamp column resistors, which you get a lot on those because of all the heat generated from the columns and the strobes. So I put that one in, got it all straightened out, put a couple chips in it, not potato chips. We had to change a 7406 and a 4049. The 4049 was for our switches. We had a dead leg on that one up by the switch matrix, or in the switch matrix, so I changed that and got everything working on it now. Still got to work on the drop targets. I got to adjust the drop targets a little bit more, and I have one that's hanging up. I got to take it back out. That's the whole problem with making parts, is they're not going to be totally identical to original equipment. So there's going to be a little bit of modification here and here and there, a little bit of adjustments, and it'll work. It's all but one, and it's hanging up a little bit down on the bottom. All I got to do is pull it out and file the one screw hole down a little bit, so there's a little more clearance for the drop target to slide down, and it'll be fine. We'll get it squared away, and then I'll bring up the back glass. I got to touch it up a little bit more, clear coat it, and Scorpion will be done. We'll do some gameplay on it. It's a fun game. I've been playing it every day now that it's been up and running. I come out and turn it on and do some other stuff on it, and then play a game, just to keep playing it, making sure it's going to keep playing. And it is, so far so good. It's really working out good. Before we get too far into the coffee break, I added some more stuff to the store. Added some more coffee mugs, t-shirts, sweatshirts to the store. The stuff I'm kind of working on now doesn't have all my logo or YouTube or anything else like that on it. I'm kind of branching out and doing some other things with the merch and the swag to kind of reach people that don't really want to wear retro gaming with Hopper around, or drinking out of a coffee mug, that because of the store also is on eBay, and it's on, I think I've mentioned this before, it's on Esty, ESTY, I guess. The store is through Printify. You probably have seen ads on YouTube for Printify. It's a kind of a drop ship. I guess you would call it a drop ship, where I set up the store, all my designs, and decide what I want to sell, and post it, publish it, I should say, and they take care of everything. There's no money involved. I don't have to buy all the t-shirts and all this stuff and have it sitting here and ship it. The orders go right directly to the printer, they print it up and send it out. This was a sample that I bought. This was the first one I did, was Sunday Coffee Break. I redesigned it because I didn't like it because you can't read it. So I redesigned it. And I took that one down, redesigned it. So I have the one and only. Someday it'll be worth $1 million. So there's quite a bit of stuff on the store, in the store. Let's see. Williams driver boards, they're kind of a pain. Not really. I know a lot of people are going to ask me, well, why are you messing with that old stuff? Why don't you just buy a rotten dog? And, it has everything on it. You put it in, you're done. That's what's in Gorgar. Well, I don't have the money right now, and I love working on these circuit boards, so that's why I'm going through it and putting it all back to original. It's not original because it's not the original boards that are in it. But I did put another System 6 MPU board together too, so now I have a backup too. Let's see. Displays on Scorpion. I went through the displays on it. I got 2 bad ones. Imagine that, buying something at auction that has 2 bad displays. So I have 1 and 2 look good. 3 has a bad segment on it, and it's not in the main board. It's the display itself, the panel. It has a bad whatever. The other one, number 4, it's just like Gorgar. I had one on it too that every time you plug it in, or you replace the resistor, you plug it in, and it comes on for like about a second, and then it smokes the resistor, and then the bottom segment's back out of it again. Only you cooked the resistor, and now 3 and 4 have a bad bottom. So that one is just a dead stick. Got a bad glass on it. It's sitting at the bottom. What I'll end up doing is I'll go through Wolfpack and I'll buy the whole kit, because I mentioned this in the upcoming video that for a good used 6-digit display, they're between $55 and $60, and I need 2 of them, which is $120 then. Well, if you can buy the whole kit from Wolfpack, you get the main and the 4 satellites, and it's $129.99. So of course I'm going to put all brand new LED displays in it, and then I'll take my real good one off a Scorpion and put it in number 4 in Gorgar. And then eventually I will buy another kit and put it all together and put it in Gorgar. Along with this computer, kind of jumping back and forth, let's stay on Scorpion. I went over what's left to do on it. We'll do some gameplay on it. Have some fun with it. I'll get the drop targets all squared away on it. It's a good machine. It's just been a heck of a problem child the whole time, ever since I got it. But I did want a wide body, and the price was right on that one. I think at auction, I only paid like $600 or $800 for that one. And there's not a whole lot of money into it. Rubbers, time, cleaning, but as parts wise, oh yeah, that one I did. I bought a new soundboard in it. I put a new soundboard in it because the one that was in it was really beat up. It's like before they sent this one, they just took all the crap off of all this other stuff and stuffed it in this one and then sent it to the auction. That's usually what people do before they send it to the auction. Oh, it's got real good displays. We'll take it out of that, put it in our contact or something like that, and then you get the crap. Well, that's why it's going to the auction. So the soundboard was junk in it. It was crap. So I put a new soundboard in it. That's about the biggest expense I have into it, is the new soundboard. Other than that, not a whole lot. Oh, and the LED kit. Probably got more money in the LEDs than anything else, on the whole machine. LEDs aren't cheap anymore. Okay, now with this, with the computer, I picked up some albums too, some record albums, vinyl. Got a couple Turner Bachman Overdrive albums, a couple Johnny Cash, and a Flatt and Scruggs with Ballad of Bonnie and Clyde and Foggy Mountain Breakdown, which are two of my favorite songs from Flatt and Scruggs, plus Petticoat Junction. If you ever listen to the live version of Petticoat Junction on Flatt and Scruggs, it's really good. If you're into bluegrass, I like I said, I like all kind of different music. I like rock, country, bluegrass, a little bit of pop. I'm not a real big fan of rap, but there's a few rap songs I like. Some jazz. You can listen to some jazz and just kind of kick back and smoke your cigar. Yeah. But so I like a lot of different music, and polka. I enjoy listening to polka too. Always have, ever since I was a kid. Going to my uncle's house, Uncle Bob and Aunt Mary. You go in the house, and in the kitchen, the whole time you were there, in the kitchen was the channel polka, and that's all you heard the whole time you were there visiting, was polka music coming from the kitchen, and Aunt Mary out there cooking, getting stuff ready. It was so ever since then I enjoy listening to polka. There's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes you got to broaden your horizon. Oh, got kind of a list here that I'm kind of moving through pretty quick. So let's see, Saturday or Wednesday will be the episode, or the part on Scorpion, when you get to see me struggle with driver boards. When I edited that video last night, I must have had probably 20 segments to that video. It was just everywhere. It's running, and then you turn the camera off. Oh, it crapped out again. So, okay, we'll grab something out, back and forth. So it took me about 3 hours, I think, to comb through that stuff and edit and get something that resembles a decent video. It's still kind of all over, kind of back and forth from here to here. Had to put some subtitles in, wrong again, so it's still a good video. You'll enjoy it if you want to watch it. And then Saturday, see, I don't have anything planned now for Saturday, because it took me so long to work through that I got kind of behind on making some videos. So now I have to sit down and make some videos. That's why I posted HP all in one yesterday. It was because I was still working on that video for Scorpion. but I finally got through it. But and hopefully everybody kind of enjoyed watching me tear down that HP. Nice little computer. Like I said, that's the one I'm using right now for live streams, and I think that's the one I'm going to keep using. And I'll put it in when I'm done with it. Done after Sundays, I'll put it back here, and it can sit back there until next Sunday. So like I said, Saturday I don't have anything planned. I'm going to work on the drop targets and a few other things off camera just to get it buttoned up and ready. So we'll have and then I'll probably start working on the back glass this week. It's going to be warmer this week. We're going to be close to 50, I think. 40s most of the week, and then 50, I think, one day, almost 50. So I'm going to do some work in the garage, do some rearranging and get some stuff pulled out and put away, make a little bit more room, kind of squish everything together and make some room so I can get some other stuff out. I was looking at that before I come on live, and I seen, I still have my CD jukebox sitting over there that I need to pull out and work on too. So it's buried at the moment. So I think when it's warm enough, then I can get the garage door open, and then I can start moving stuff out and start, getting stuff arranged again to where I can move around in here a little bit more with some other stuff, get some other stuff ready to start working on. Top 10, we'll get the Chicago coin out, and I'll start messing with it. Scorpion's going to stay up on all four paws, and I'll play it, keep playing it all the rest of the winter until it's ready to go over to the arcade and be put in and enjoyed. Ooh. I stopped over at the arcade this past week when I was out and about. Check on everything. Everything's good over there. I put a little heater in my hot water tank room. That's where my expansion tank is for my well and all that, and I don't want that crap freezing. No heat over there. So I put a little heater in there, insulated the closet, put a ceiling in it and all that, and put a little electric heater in there so it'll stay warm enough and not anything won't freeze. Everything else is good over there. I have a little heater in the bathroom too to keep my pipes from freezing and my toilet from freezing. If you ever seen a toilet freeze, they're really neat when they freeze. But yeah, we'll do some work in the garage here. Get some stuff done in here, get some stuff rearranged, make some more room so we can get another project up and running. Ordered the balls for Pachinko. I think they were supposed to be here yesterday, but they didn't make it. So I'm figuring probably tomorrow they'll show up. And I'll have balls for the Pachinko machine. We'll put them in, and I'll piss around with it, and I'll probably do a video on gameplay and showing you how it works. And then I have the other one that I keep looking at. But right now I'd kind of rather work on some other stuff like cinema or the CD jukebox. I collected a whole bunch of CDs for the jukebox over the summer. So I have a tote full of CDs to put in it. And let's see, I still have internet connection. Yeah. And it's showing my little connection is unstable. If you are on Wi-Fi, try plugging into a router or moving closer to it. Well, I can't get any closer to it. It's right here. That's how I'm going live. There, now it's stable again. It's the weather. down here in Bedrock. When it gets nasty out, you kind of lose signal kind of off and on, even with the phone. But I collected a whole bunch of CDs for the CD jukebox, and I just been kind of putting it off. It's sitting over in the corner, and then stuff just kind of keeps piling up in front of it, and behind it, and on top of it, and the next thing you know, you can't get to it anymore. So I want to get it out and have it sitting here, so if I want to get started on it, I can. There's quite a bit of work to do on it. It's a little rough. Didn't pay much for it. I think that's an AMI. I think I only paid like $100 for it. Probably cost more to ship it up here than it did for the whole thing, but that's beside the point. So I ordered the balls for Pachinko, yes. Okay. That's about all I have here on my list so far. But I see nobody has commented, and it looks like I've only had about two watching the whole time on Sunday coffee break. So I don't know. I may go back to premieres. At least on the premiere, I'd get more people watching. I don't know, either that or maybe I'm just not that interesting. But it's cold all this week. Like I said, it was hard to do much out here. But I was able to come out and get stuff done. Finally whipped Scorpion into shape. Have some other projects that I'm going to probably start. But this week, since it's going to be warm enough, I want to work out here and get some stuff squared away out here so I have a little bit more room. I got projects sitting all over the place out here, but I don't know. You get to them when you get to them. I have the rest of the winter. I mean, God, we're already towards the end of January. After January, what are we? About 2 months away from spring, which can't come soon enough, if you ask me. We finally got some snow again. This was about our second heaviest. I think there's about 6 inches out there on the ground now, but up north got a hell of a lot more than us, up in Erie and Wattsburg, Edinburgh, and all that. Usually we're the ones that get dumped on, and it skips Erie, but everything lately has been just coming kind of diagonal off the lake and dumping on Erie, which doesn't hurt my feelings. But the cold weather is the worst part. I think the one morning I came out for about an hour, it was about 4 degrees. Right now it's still about 17 today. Supposed to be in the 20s this afternoon. Heat wave. Then we had one morning, I think it was 10. We get the cold weather. Usually it's a little later in January that we get it. Usually it's towards the end of the month. We get about 2 weeks of frigid crap like this, and then that's it for the year. You might get or for the season, you might get one day that it's cold. But now, I remember working on the chicken farm, the egg farm out in Colorado, out in Grand Junction. You'd get out there in the morning, and it would be like about 15 or 18 degrees. Everything's froze, and you got to climb up on the roof and start putting in purlins and getting ready to put metal on the roof. And then in the afternoon, it would be like 45 degrees, and you'd be back to mud season. You have froze in the morning and then mud in the afternoon. which was a real pain. When I worked at the egg farm, there were 6 barns there, 80,000 chickens per barn. Had 480,000 chickens there. Hens pooping out eggs. Usually there was one barn that was always down. Well, not down. It had pullets in it. But pullets, if you're not familiar, are just a little bitty dudes. They'd come in I think they're not even a year old. They'd come in, and most of them, they weren't laying, or when they did lay, you get these little pee-wee eggs, is what we called them, pee-wees. Those went to the cracker plant, went for cake mix and all that stuff. So you always had one barn that had little eggs, and then you had another barn that was old. Their chickens were molting. When the chickens molt, they don't lay eggs as many. They had it down to a science where, with the feed and the genetics, a chicken would lay like an egg and a half a day. I know you can't lay half an egg, but if you do the math, you get 3 eggs in 2 days. So egg and a half a day. And I was in, after everything was built, I was in maintenance. I did all the egg running. I run all the machines to run all the eggs down to the processing plant and candling and cartoning them. And we had this conveyor that run the full length along the front of the barns. It was called an anaconda, because that's who made it. Was over in Italy, was anaconda. But I did all the maintenance on all the egg running equipment out in the barns, and I did all the egg running where you have to turn. I could run like 2 rows of chickens per barn, 3 barns at a time, or three rows, 2 rows, because it took me 3 tries, 3 attempts, and I got all the eggs out. At the end of the day, we'd end up running like 144,000 dozen eggs out of that place. And there was plans when I left to put in 2 more barns at 80,000 chickens, so you have like 640,000 birds. And after the birds got so old, they started laying super jumbo eggs. They could sell the jumbos, but they couldn't sell super jumbos. They were double yolkers, and every week we got 2.5 dozen of double yolk eggs as part of our pay. And I still didn't get tired of eggs. I still like eggs. So we run, I did all the maintenance in those barns for the egg running equipment. And it usually took us about 8 to 10 hours to run 144,000 dozen eggs. You had to clear them out in one day, or the next day there would be so many eggs that coming down on the anaconda, they get crushed and crack. And during the winter, this is where the cold comes in. During the winter, I had to run the eggs out. During the summer, I could leave them sitting on the anaconda overnight. So in the morning, I could, you turn everything on, and eggs are running through the processing plant right away. But during the winter, if you left them on the anaconda, there was a breezeway between each barn that the anaconda run through, to pick up all the eggs through all the barns. In those breezeways, it would get so cold that the eggs would crack and freeze. You could stand in there in the morning and you could hear them cracking. So I had to run all the eggs out the night before at the end of the day. So then in the morning, I had to be there about an hour early than everybody else because I had to start bringing the eggs down into the processing plant so when the girls come in to start candling and running the eggs, they were ready for them. We just switched on and away we went. As long as it wasn't too long or too cold. That's why I kind of had to have it timed out. But that was a fun job. I enjoyed working at the egg farm. Stunk, but you get used to it, just like anything. You know, you get used to the smell of chicken manure. And, you know, you're always dusty. You know, chicken dander. But they call it chicken dander, but all it is just the feathers breaking down and flopping, flying all over the place. Didn't have to heat the barns because you have 80,000 little birds in there. It gets really toasty in the barns. In fact, you had the fans at the far end of the barn would come on during the winter when it was cold. It would get so hot in there from all them chickens that it had to exhaust it. Really, like I said, I enjoyed it because I liked the maintenance. I loved working on all those machines and stuff like that. Just like, doing stuff here. Good place to work. Dirty, stank. Perfect for dirty jobs. All right. I think that's going to do it for this Sunday. I'm cold. I want to go in the house and get warm. I've only had about one person watching all throughout the whole live stream, so I guess that's going to do it. Told my little story, filled you in on everything. So don't forget about the merch. Check out the store. I still have my 2 affiliates down there, 3D MAKERPRO and Altruistic Joe, which is a veteran-owned coffee company. If you're interested in any of those, take a look. Take a look at the swag. That'll help out the channel. What'll help out the channel too is hitting the like button. That's free, doesn't cost you a dime. So I hope everybody has a great week. I'm going to try to. It's going to be warmer, and I'll be able to get more stuff done. So until next Sunday, everybody take care. Have a great week. See ya.